national labs. We have an exclusive contract with Sandia and Los Alamos at national labs with the invented the AVEK. So we were able to go down to the subatomic level, just like they research a pharmaceutical drug, and extract those, figure out what they are, and we can manufacture them bio-identical to what we found in the soil and provide them to our customers in mass quantities. And what these things do is they help eliminate salts. One molecule is now a polar molecule. One molecule will hold 10,000 molecules of water within its orbit, much like the Earth holds the moon. And it helps hold your nutrients there in a water-soluble solution. It helps solubilize the minerals in the soil. That's a geological term. That's how caves are made. We're actually producing carbonic acid with our different things that we're adding, which is a light acid which dissolves the minerals and makes those nutrients in the minerals available, so we're not adding fertilizers. Plants are like us. They need protein to produce nitrogen. So we feed the plants protein. We're not adding extra salts. We were able to change the PSI of soils in Central California on Almond Grove from 300 PSI, where we did not apply, down to 3 feet deep at 50 to 75 PSI. So we're able to get the water deeper so that it's more beneficial and helps the roots get a chemical exchange between the air and the water, and they become much healthier. We were able to take grapes down in Baja, Mexico, very sandy soils, huge osmotic drag problem from all their salts. They were watering every 4 days and not getting much of a crop. Now, after a year of applying this material, they're watering every 3 weeks and getting a huge crop. So it's quite a beneficial material. We have an arboretum in New Mexico that Michael, our founder, has been putting on this project for since he started developing it. And when we did the research, we were able to perfect the development of these materials, so we know exactly what we need now. But the NRCS has come in there and measured his carbon sequestration on that project. He has more carbon sequestered than anywhere in the United States. So that soil was 12 feet deep in clay when he bought it. It was white on top from salts, and he's changed it to grow. He has more oaks than anybody in the United States, different varieties from all around the world. He's got sugar maples, native redwoods, and giant bamboo. We can grow anything on that piece of property. We just did a toxic site in Nevada, high salts, 1600. It's supposed to be around 225 parts per million. It's over 1600. The boron's up to 8. The boron's supposed to be 1.7 to 1.5. So highly toxic. We applied these materials, and now we're growing turfgrass on that school site. So I know you guys have a lot of salts around here, and that's a big concern. Throughout the Central Valley, we've been doing almonds and pistachios. We're getting noticed by people like Gallo, people like Paramount Farms. They've been watching the growth that we're doing on pistachios for 3 years now, and they're starting to tell all their farmers, you need to pay attention to what these guys are doing, and they know something nobody else knows.
How do you apply it? Do you apply it through the...
It's a granular. You can apply it on the surface, and these molecules go down. What they are, it's quantum physics. It's supramolecular technology, same as any pharmaceutical drug. And these molecules have more energy than any pharmaceutical that's manufactured. And it's simple to apply. You can apply it to your plants. You know, you're talking about saving your trees and your landscaping. This will help you do that. We've cut turf grasses by 50% on their water maintenance. All of Midland, Texas uses it on all their schools. The Texas Tech University uses it on their entire campus. We have people like as big as Olam looking. I don't know if you know who Olam is, but they're a worldwide consortium of farming. They help farmers all around the world, and they're trying our products now. Just because they are working. They are what we claim they are. To give you a little background on how important this material is, doctors, we went to over 50 universities, and nobody could do the research for us. They said, we don't know how. All we can do is a first level test on soils. So our partner said, well, we got to get in the national lab. We tried, and they said, dirt, that doesn't sound too interesting. So we got hooked up with Dr. Sidney Pesca. He's the guy that developed interferon for AIDS. It's a drug. It's a missing protein. So he had to go to the national labs and be able to isolate that protein and figure out what it was composed of and able to manufacture it to make the drug interferon. He looked at our materials and he said, okay, I'll help you. He went to the national laboratories and he said, guys, you have to do this research. It's the single most important research you'll ever do. So that was quite a recommendation on where we're headed with this technology.
How often do you have to apply this?
One time.
One
This
time?
material lasts 3,000 years. It's like looking at a battery, one's fully charged and one's not charged. So once we fully charge these molecules, molecules have a electrical conductivity charge. A humate molecule is basically a dipole 6. It's basically dead because it's been there for millions of years. Our molecules are a dipole 250, so they have an enormous amount of energy. And that's how they're able to hold on to the water molecules, much like the Earth is holding on to the moon in its orbit.
So is it affordable?
It's very affordable, extremely affordable.
Is it available?
It's available, yeah.
So-
We've been working with Ty on some project. He put some sod grass down less than a week ago, and we checked it yesterday. It's already rooted in. You can't pull it up.
Underneath it, 800 square feet, I bet it.
So,
That's different than normal, huh?
yeah, if I could
Oh,
jump,
like shock.
if I could jump in here, Ty brought this to my attention here a couple of weeks back, and so that's the reason why I invited him to come this morning. Hopefully everything was fruitful with the city yesterday. Our intent is, because we've got lots of turf in our parks, and I have no commitment to think that at any point in time we're taking that out. But obviously we're concerned about water conservation. So I think the thought process is to run a parallel test out on our soccer fields,
Right.
because we can control everything and we can put them right up against one another and obviously measure watering necessary and so.
We're doing a test right now with District 5, Caltrans, they're doing the same thing. We're doing part of their head office where they can control the water on it, so we can show them that, yeah, you can cut the water and we still have viable
So how long
turf
does it
grass.
take to take effect?
See it, it happens right away, but in order to see it visually, it's usually about 3 months. And then there's a huge change. I can show you grapes that we did last year. We applied it in May. They started to have the clusters, but when we added this product, by September, the grapes were highly charged with sugars, bricks, huge bricks. He had 4.5 tons off of 2-year-old grapes. Everybody
Getting really excited?
else's grapes are shriveled up and not no product at all. So he now sells most of the grapes to all the wineries in Guadalupe Valley, the wine district of Mexico, because his production is so large.
How long has this been effective? You've been doing this after?
Michael's been working on this technology for about 28 years. We did the research the last 7 years, so we know exactly how to manufacture these and how to chelate the cations onto the molecule, and so that we can give everything that you need there. We also manufacture a product called mycorrhizal. It's 90% of all plants in the world have to have this association with mycorrhiza in order to reach their full potential. Like that tree probably, I don't know if it does or not. If it's been fertilized, it probably doesn't have an association because the fertilizer has made the tree say, I have enough to eat, I don't need this association with this fungus. But the fungus makes the roots 10 times bigger, so that it's able to go out and sequester water and nutrients from that much bigger of an area. So they go very deep. They also drill into rock. We've taken granite, put it in with corn, growing it with mycorrhizae. The fungi drilled through the rock to dissolve the minerals to extract the nutrients for the corn. And we have pictures of that from the laboratory with the subatomic microscope. They're very fine, small.
Where's it manufactured?
New Mexico. There's several people from the labs that still sit on our board. We're still very much apart. We're doing further studies research right now to find out the nutrient uptake that our advantage for nutrient uptake of these materials provide. We used to be able to eat one orange, now we got to eat many oranges to get the same nutrients that we got back in the 50s by eating one orange. So we want to change that. That's why there's a lot of obesity, because we don't get the sense that we're full from eating.
Well, can we give you our cards and get more information, or?
I'd love to send you
Okay.
more information on
Okay.
the internet. You can get on our website. The carbon sequestration, we did an experiment with the National Laboratories as part of our research. We spread 2,000 pounds down on a native desert soil, much like you have here. And we grew 3 years with mycorrhizae. 2,000 pounds is like putting pepper on this table. It's not very much. You have 43 million pounds in an acre. So you're not putting down very much. That's with the material. We put it down. We grew with mycorrhizae for 3 years. We had 3 inches of long-term carbon. Your state requires that you have the carbon. You pass the carbon bill for carbon sales. We had a 3-inch carbon, which is a 16,000 pound net gain of what we put down. So we're building an anabolic situation instead of catabolic. Catabolic cannibalism. You put compost in, you put manures in, they are cannibalized until there's nothing there. We're creating a system where we're actually building long-term carbon chemicals. That's why I say you put it down one time. If you're growing with mycorrhiza and you're growing with protein, it builds more on itself continuously. That area that was 3 inches deep is now 9 inches deep.
Wow.
After 9 years. If you took chemistry like I did, or science in school like I did, they told you that it took 50 years or something to build a half an inch of carbon. We're doing it very fast. So the cities could grow carbon and have carbon credits, according to your state regulation, to sell. I have the information. Our website's on this sheet, so you can get on our website or blog site. And then I have a sheet on the technical part of our supramolecular molecules and our mycorrhiza. We manufacture the highest concentrated mycorrhiza in the world. Most of them are 60 to 120 spores per gram. Ours is 3,200 spores per gram, which doesn't mean a lot to you, except that you got to have a lot of spores in order to be very effective.
How many competitors are there doing this?
We're the only ones in the world that know how to produce this material. We've done the research. These molecules are called supramolecular because they're able to find each other without an outside source. So if we threw a puzzle of Mona Lisa on the table, we came back in 3 hours, it would be all put together. So these molecules, we actually have animations on the computer where we can see the energy charge shoot through the molecule, much like the start of life.
What lines of distribution do you have?
We have distributors throughout the world, and we have a product here in California right now.
Home Depot,
No, we
Lowe's?
haven't set up with Home Depot
Home
yet.
tie.
Home Tie.
Bingo.
Our lowest hanging fruit has been the agricultural business because of all their collapsing soils and their high salts, using recycled water. So we're trying to fix all that. We did some pistachio trees. They were specified as 50 nut cluster trees. After we applied this material for 6 months, they're producing 90 nut clusters, and instead of 3 to 4 clusters per branch, they're producing 8, 9 clusters per branch. So
What period of time is that?
that's why Paramount's looking at it.
What period of time is that? That's after?
We've been doing, Paramount's have been going out there with us for about almost 3 years now, but we just put the material down 6 months ago.